suppressing it if you have it. So that takes frequent scouting and early detection, which provides an opportunity to suppress the insect and the disease, and then proper identification of the disease. And this takes making a proper sample. And that's one thing that we've also been training people on, how to take a proper sample. And you have all seen the symptoms. Randy and Jorge showed you trees with the canopy, the leaf color change previously. And also, here's sawdust from beetle boring. Here's holes in it. And then here's some of that frass toothpicks, where he mentioned before. And then, of course, when you remove the bark and get through the bark, you see that dark streaking. It tells you, doesn't necessarily say it's Laurel wilt, but it tells you that this tree probably should be sampled. So one of the problems we've had is people not taking proper samples. So this is just to show you, this is just a list of what you want to have and a visual of what you want to have. It's a very easy procedure. And then having a bag where you put the name of the cultivar, the date, your name, the grove, the location, contact information, things like that. So, and also to take the sample in the symptomatic area. So that's important too. And you want to check the tree and be sure you're taking it in an area that's appropriate. And again, this is just showing you an axe, and we're cutting through the bark, and so you're getting through to these chips. Here, you can also take limbs. If there are some limbs that are highly symptomatic, you can take some sections of limbs. This is just a close-up of some bark chips. So this is the type of material the pathologists need in order to do the testing. And we're asking people to submit this to our diagnostic clinic and filling out the forms and paying for the samples. And I'm going to switch gears now and talk a little bit about some of the outreach and what we've been doing. I've been working very closely with the Department of Plant Industry and their staff, and also other extension people at the University of Florida. We've been putting on workshops and then in-service training for the faculty and staff in the university. The Department of Plant Industry put together a group called the Laurel Wilt Working Group, which includes researchers, regulatory agencies, and extension people. And that group has been very active in the past 3 or 4 years. But also been meeting with the Avocado Administrative Committee and their subcommittees. We've been making handouts and PowerPoints. We have a website, 2 websites. We've been making brochures for the urban population. One of the issues we found is that the electrical companies, when they go in to clear their power lines, that they were finding trees and then they would clear the power line, chip the wood, and then they were reluctant to take it to the landfill because they get charged when they dump at the landfill. So they would drive down to the agricultural area looking for somebody with a $20 bill to dump their load of chips, plus the wood that's inside the chipping machine that was not chipped. Not a good idea. So we have met with FP&L, which is the local power company, and basically, for the most part, we feel we've got a good relationship with them. They're not bringing that material into the agricultural area. And so we produce a brochure that they can hand to their customers when they meet with them, the homeowners, that explain what's going on, asking them if they could leave the material either on their property, or if they have to, they can take it to somewhere else that we've identified. We've also produced handouts and recommendations for homeowners, and also a postcard alerting the people in the urban area about what they're about to see. They're about to see a lot of native trees dead, and then there are avocado trees dying, and who to call and what to do. So we've been sending those out. We've also done popular articles, and unfortunately we're on TV once. Anyway, this is the brochure. A little hard to see. This is the postcard. So it's basically both in English and Spanish. So a little bit on the research part that I've been assisting with is helping Dr. Pena when I can with some of his efficacy work. I also liaison with the minor use pesticide registration program with the USDA. We have a center for IR4 work at the research center. And also working with Randy on some of the disease control things. We did do some fruit residue levels on Simmons avocado with thiobendazole, propiconazole, and tebuconazole, and harvested the fruit when it was mature, 79 days after application, and found either non-detectable or very, very, very low levels of residue. And that has to do with the anatomy of the attachment of the fruit to the tree, fortunately. We're also, Dr. Pletz and I, and Rainbow Tree Care, which is this company Randy had mentioned earlier, we have a field efficacy looking at these 3 fungicides, and then in some cases inoculating the trees with Laurel Wilt. And we're doing this up in Merritt Island in some of the avocado groves that people have been kind enough to let us use their trees in this experiment. And it's a large experiment. It's probably over 100 trees. There's about 7 or 8 cooperators. But we're very grateful to these people that they've allowed us to do this work up there. But that work's in progress. We're really not going to have any results from that for a while. And as I mentioned, I'm also liaisoning with the IR4 program. And that's pretty much it. These are some other links. If you want a lot more information about this, if you go to this website, this is the Department of Plant Industry. Also this website, these other websites have publications and other information on the insect and the disease and what's being done. If anybody has any questions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So Jorge, why don't you come down and let's open this up for some discussion. If you'd like to ask some specific generic questions. Oh my goodness. Well,
yeah.
Mary, go for it.
I was just wondering, is it possible at all to kill the fungus in the sacks? I was thinking if you could spray something on the bark that's really on the last thing, if you get enough, yeah. Is that even a possibility?
Boy, I'm not going to use that unless I have to. Probably not. You know, it's such a tiny insect, and if you had the ability to contact all of those insects that are infested with pathogen, you know, the opportunity for killing those insects with an effective fungicide would be the most obvious thing. But as Jorge will tell you, controlling insect vector diseases by controlling the vector is very difficult, because all you need is a one escape.
I wasn't thinking of controlling the vector, I was thinking about killing the fungus inside.
Yeah, but if you've got the opportunity that it can control the fungus within the insect, to me, then you've got the opportunity to contact all the different individuals that might be moving the fungus around, and that's the difficult part. You only have to have, the data we have so far suggests you only need one visit by a female. What she's doing is she's looking for potential root trees. And she'll go to a healthy tree and do her initial probe in it and say, oh, this tree's not dead, this is not a good root tree. She'll fly and go somewhere else. But in doing so, she's inoculated that tree. So to control that opportunity would be really, really tough, even if you've got really effective fungicides, insecticides. So this is going to be difficult. In general, controlling insect vector diseases by controlling the insect is only effective if you can do a very, very effective job controlling all of the vectoring insects. That relates back to this greening thing, because that's one of the ways that greening is managed effectively, because if you've got these area-wide, huge areas sprayed with insecticide to control that silk, then and only then do you have the opportunity then for managing that disease. For this insect vector disease, boy, that's going to be tough. because you're gonna have to hit all those dooryard trees, cover a huge natural area, that would be tough.
But remember, as I mentioned, the idea is that over time,